Welcome to Conversations with Lauren and Ali, where we bridge all things in the spiritual and human experience.
This is a space where raw honesty meets higher truth, where personal stories open doors to deeper self-awareness, and where the messy, magical journey of being human is honoured as a sacred path of awakening. So, take a breath, get cozy, and join us in today's conversation.
Hello, good morning.
Hi. My light's working. No, my lighting's not
What do
working.
you got on your t-shirt there? What is that?
Oh, it's like a serpent.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Is that,
Huh?
go ahead.
No, I'm not usually a that kind of person. The serpent used to kind of freak me out a little bit or feel like it maybe was a bit dark or something. But yeah, this t-shirt, I don't know. I love it. And I get so many comments on it as well. Yeah.
Well, the reason why it caught my attention is because the serpent energy has been really strong. It's been really coming up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
agree.
interesting.
I agree. And it's the year of the snake too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel much more at ease with the serpent now than I used to. I used to be really triggered by it. I'd see people wearing rings or whatever, and I just immediately think, you know, bad,
Yeah.
dark,
Yeah, me
evil
too.
almost. It's got that kind of had that connotation to it, but yeah, not
Well,
anymore.
and I even think for me, it's the physical, it's the physical snakes themselves and even lizards and
Yeah.
all of that. I know you're right into that in your family, but it's
Oh,
like
I'm
my
not.
worst
Yeah.
fear. But it's so interesting because energetically, I don't know if I've ever said this to you, but the first light language that came through was a very serpent light for me.
Ooh.
And I've had such a connection to that all the way through. And it's blowing my mind actually, because I feel like there's something about that. At every conversation I'm having or um, session, there's something about that energy that's rising or that's coming forward. And I suppose you could relate that to Kundalini, to Shakti,
Yes. Yep. Yep.
whatever you believe there. But I sort of feel also this sense of um, feeling more comfortable with the energy and the transformational energy that it brings, because I had an
Yes.
experience with an aspect of mine where it was literally like she had snake like energy
Hmm.
coming through her hands, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I actually wasn't
Yeah,
afraid
wow.
of it, which is, yeah,
Yeah.
interesting for me. Mm.
Yeah, because you feel the power of it. And it's funny you talk about that that was one of your first light languages that came through because I've only ever had that once where I
Mhm.
literally in all of the years once come through that felt like a serpent energy and it took me back kind of thing. Like it took me by surprise and it I didn't know whether to fear it or do you know what I mean? I
Mhm.
had to really
Mhm.
calibrate to it. I was like, whoa, what is this? Because even if you think about the Harry Potter movie, have you one of
Uh-huh.
the Harry Potter
Mhm.
movies, they speak what's that language that they speak that's like the snake language that the bad dude, what's his
Yes, I know what you mean.
Voldemort?
I can't remember what
Yeah,
it is, but yeah.
Voldemort um has that language and Harry Potter can also channel that language as well, but it's like only them and it was made out to be sort of like an evil or a dark thing and yeah, there's so many connections. I think with you too, probably the that what I could hear was like that real primordial feminine,
Yeah. Yeah.
that kind of energy, that powerful, more
Mhm.
fierce
Mhm.
feminine energy that's been, rising, especially for you this year.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Hmm.
different, it's connected to our power, I think, like our inner
Hmm.
power, our personal power,
Hmm.
our feminine power. But we've just been taught to fear them. And I've had snake encounters. I've had a few in the last few years,
Yeah.
and one only recently here at my place on my property where I nearly stepped on one and it like, stood up ready to attack me.
Yeah.
Ah! But I knew when I sat with that was grandmother energy. That was ancestral. That was divine feminine.
Mm.
Yeah, when I sort of sat and asked, why did I just, what was that about? Why did I have that experience? But it's all consuming when you come in like into contact
Oh
out
my
of
gosh, yes.
yeah, in a surprise situation, and you come that
Hmm.
close to a snake in the wild that you know is
Hmm.
venomous, especially
Hmm.
too.
Hmm.
Um, it's I can't even I've had it a couple of times and they've always been red belly black snakes. And it's like a coldness fills
Mhm.
my whole body and time slows down. It's like everything goes in slow motion when your body goes into that state
Mhm.
of like, okay, that fight or flight mode.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Hmm.
even one of my friends told me last week that she went to this place because she needed to just recenter. So she went to this beautiful little water hole that's out in the bush near here and just to gather herself, And she said it was just her alone. There was no one else there. So she'd walk down the track and was sitting down and was just really enjoying this Zen moment. And
Oh,
then
no.
a snake came out. She said she sheet herself. And
Mm.
she said, but then she had a, because I was like, what type of snake was it? And she said it was a diamond python. So harmless,
Oh, yeah.
I said, you probably could have picked it up and played with it. But she just described that feeling of, yeah, it's that I don't know, there's something that it switches on within you. And I
Hmm.
think it shows the power and the energy of the snake.
Well, you make such a great point because what often came or through this whole, like, what am I talking, 3 or 4 year journey to, because in opening the light language to it and then having it identified as that kind of energy, and it was me, an invitation for me to make kind of friends with that.
Yeah.
And it was the
Yeah.
way of that energy coming in without confronting me. Because anytime I saw it in my third eye or mind's eye, I would be like, nah, out, gone.
Mm,
But
mm,
it's so funny because what I have learned is that it is I mean, it's obviously reflective of power, but
yeah.
for me, it's been such a reflective journey of reclaiming my power because of you think about like right at the start there where I would have it was I wouldn't have even wanted to see my power, like that's where I was starting from.
Yeah.
That I was in such that victimhood, we spoke about that last week. I was in such the victimhood. I was looking for anything and anything else to kind of make sense of things, I suppose, or make me feel better. And here I was being initiated through that and have been really, because that's it comes in. I know we're in the year of the snake, and so it's obviously amplified. But for me personally, I feel like that energy comes forward at times when I am transforming and when I am embodying more of my power. And
Yeah.
you're right with the primordialness of it. That's what it
Mhm.
feels like to me. It's super
Yeah.
primordial.
Hmm.
What came into my awareness too was remembering when we were proposing our trip to Uluru, where we never actually got there, but that was the energy that was coming to me, was that really primordial serpent
Yeah.
energy that was calibrating. And I almost feel like now thinking about that, it's calibrating to the depth of the power, isn't it? Because no wonder I had to put the brakes on and say, no, I'm not going to the solar plexus center. I'm not
Yes.
going to
We
Uluru.
all did. We were all like, no, it's not the right time. Yeah.
but
Yet.
but it's interesting to witness in the collective, I suppose, the fearfulness that we have around snakes, reptiles. And
Yeah.
what came to my mind too, as you were talking, was the Adam and Eve story and the idea the snake um, presented the apple to Eve, and it's all of this fear. And I know we've talked about this many times as well, but the idea that there's not going into the darkness or the shadow within, not going into those primordial depths,
Yes.
because we've been told and fed these stories of fear, and we believe them. And I mean, I've
Hmm.
certainly been there, done that. And this is where we're at now, though. We're being reminded by the primordial feminine that the way to not just our power, but as we talked about last week, freedom and liberation, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Sovereignty is
Sovereignty.
through that.
Yes. And I think the word fear is a big one. There's this there's this thing that I know I've battled with a lot, and I'm not going to say that it's completely gone, I still do,
Mm.
is the fear of my power. Like
Yes.
it all of that you just spoke into, it comes back to fearing our own power.
Hmm.
Like it's and then I think that loops back around to what we spoke about last week in our last episode was coming to that point of acceptance,
Yes.
accepting
Yes. Yes.
accepting ourselves and where we're at, and
Hmm.
accepting that we do have this power, and owning our shit and owning
Hmm.
our power, and stepping into our sovereignty, and not holding back on unleashing the power. I think the word
Hmm.
power, though, carries its own, carries its own meaning in a certain way that we've been programmed to believe as well. And I also think that contributes to why we may carry fear around our own power.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the way that we've known is a masculine power. It's the dominant, the aggressive, the oppressive,
Yeah, the controlling, the
controlling.
using it
Yeah.
in the wrong ways. Yeah.
And using it to create fear.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So
Yeah.
isn't that ironic that
Mm.
what we need, I don't even know how to put that into words. That's bending my mind just thinking about that. But we've been led to believe to fear power in so many
Yeah.
different ways. And I feel like this is coming forward, and it's so interesting that we've launched straight into this conversation based just off looking at your t-shirt, because because this really feels like what I'm feeling coming into this latter part of the year as we move into 2026, and thinking about, or feeling into, for me, this idea that 2026 is now like we've done all of that shedding and transforming, and we're now in that embodiment to action piece where it's like, okay, well, now it's time to take action in your sovereign expression, your power.
Yes.
And so, of course, we would be feeling maybe some last remnants of eek. I've got to step into this. I've got to become this. I've got to
Yeah.
take action based on this now.
Yes. And I think, again, the snake represents that. Like when you think about them, they grow, their body grows, and they shed their skin. They shed that old layer so that they can expand into, the growth
Pretty
that they're
cool.
experiencing. Yeah. And then they do it again, and they do it continuously over and over and over again as they grow and expand um, into their power, I suppose, as they grow,
Hmm.
their bodies grow. Yeah, and that's like you said, we're at that point of the year where we've been shedding all year, but there's still there's still some shedding happening while
Bit
we
off
move
the
into that.
tail to go yet.
Yeah.
But it's so funny, isn't it? Because there it is right in front of us. That's what was there for us to witness all the way along. And instead, I know I'm speaking for myself, I was in fear of that and wouldn't even look at snakes, didn't even want to know anything about them. And I'm in no means going out to hold one, or I don't want to run into one. I'm not at that point, but energetically speaking, I'm now allowing that and embracing that to come forward
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
and honoring
I've
that cycle. Mm,
That's it. It's yeah. It's seeing what the greater picture is, what it's actually
mm,
representing. Um, and it's definitely like I know I've had snake encounters here. I live in the bush. Like Les always says to me, there are snakes here. We are
mhm,
going to see them. Like they're here. They live here,
mhm, mhm,
And that's I think something that I've been calibrating to is especially
mhm,
having that encounter with the snake is okay. I have to, what can I do to overcome my fear? Or I just need to be more aware. That's what he always says to me.
mhm.
Just be aware. Everywhere you go, just be aware. Keep your eyes open and don't be fearful. Just be cautious. Just be aware. And that's what we try and, tell the kids. But there's something about the energies that we've just been speaking about that that's how it's almost like that's how I'm being calibrated is like, okay, this energy is here. I'm
The
living
awareness, yeah.
amongst that. I
Hmm.
have to be aware of it, and I have to not like adjust to not feeling fear around it. Because I can tell you when I had that encounter with the snake, um, I still haven't really been back to the spot out the back where I saw
I
it.
don't blame you.
Not that it's going to be there. I would have frightened it more than it frightened me.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I've got to, yeah, I'm trying, doing my best to just move through it, and it's adjusting to that, like releasing that fear around
Mhm.
all of those energies that we spoke about. Yeah.
There's something too about being present, isn't it? Like when you were speaking, then is what I was feeling for you. It was also bringing you right into the present.
Yes, be aware, like eyes on
Mm,
path. That's what I
mm,
always, that's another thing Les always says to me when I trip over or whatever. He's like, eyes on path, Lauren. So every time something like that happens or I'm not present or I'm like, eyes
mm.
on path, Lauren. And it's such a
It's
good thing, like eyes.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but presence, yeah, being
Hmm,
aware of your
hmm,
immediate
hmm,
surroundings in a human way,
hmm,
it really, it does. It keeps you present.
hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something the snake is trying to tell us. It's trying to teach us that, like, and not in a fearful way, just in a be here, be now, be present.
Yes.
There's something as well that I'm feeling about the way they connect to the ground, and I don't really know
Mm.
where that's coming forward, but I'm feeling the belly on the earth for some
Hmm.
reason
Yeah.
as well. And I guess that is um
Yeah.
the reminder of the humanity in us, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
that's something, obviously, we're here to bridge the human and divine experience in our
Yes.
conversations. And we're talking a lot about as well. And that's part of what I feel like we're really stepping into.
Hmm.
Um, so ironically, that we're talking about like eyes on the path, watching where you step, and stepping, for me, it's stepping into this power, stepping into the expression of this through the human form now, like becoming, it's more than becoming. It just, I think we spoke about this last week as well, but I guess I'm reinforcing that it it just is who we are.
It just is. I keep hearing it just is.
It just is
Yeah.
who we are. So it's like moving, and I've got to shift that from my vocabulary as well, because it's not about the becoming. This year has been about that becoming,
Yeah.
but now it's like, well, this it just is.
Mm.
We just
Yeah.
are,
We're not
and we're
becoming
there.
anymore. We already
Yeah,
are. Yeah.
yeah. Which is
Yeah.
the letting go of the seeking and the doing and the trying, isn't it? Which again, I feel like that's what Snake's saying. Eyes on the path. I love that. Thanks, Liz. Eyes on
Yes.
the path.
And even the way they move, like when you were talking about them being, having their belly on the ground, like that
Mm.
connection to the earth, the way they move, it's not linear. They don't go along in a straight line. They're
Yes.
fluid, they flow, they
Yes.
spiral,
That's what it is.
yeah,
Yes.
it's the movement of that
Mm.
energy and a reminder, I
Hmm,
suppose, of
hmm,
how that energy how we can move in that energy,
hmm.
in that flow state,
Oh,
still
I love
connected to the
that.
earth. But
Yes.
yeah. Oh, well, all this talk
Yes.
about snakes, I do not want to come across another one. Thank you. Like talking about them. I don't want to create anything here. So yeah, no
No, we're
snakes.
just tapping into the medicine of the snake right now.
Yes, we appreciate
Medicine
you. I know you're there.
frequency. Thank you. We're learning the lesson. Wisdom's received. We don't need to do the
Yes.
physical thing. Because maybe this is it, right? You're taking that, and so you don't need to have that physical interaction because
Yes.
you've I've got the message, snake. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes. Yes. That's
Oh,
it.
that's
Yeah.
so funny. That's so
Oh,
funny.
because
Even this week, every conversation or session with the serpent's been coming in some
yeah.
way. And
Yeah, no,
yeah.
it's been in my field as well. It's absolutely been in mine. I was reading something about it last night. Yeah,
And I think too, like I do feel like because we're coming to the end of this year, the end
yeah,
of the year of the snake, it's probably, um, becoming more present. And I think, this idea of the cycles as well, and that like you said, the snake is shedding its skin all the time. It's constantly expanding. It's such a great metaphor for the way that we look at things.
yeah,
And I think even, I remember reading about the way the snake sheds its skin. It's painful. I think it's not
yeah,
comfortable,
yeah,
and they've got to rub up against rocks and things like that, or get some um, friction, I guess, is
yeah,
that the word? So I think that even that in itself is understanding the way we meet ourselves in experiences, isn't it? Like that we're going to have those experiences because that's creating the friction to release that layer as
yeah,
well. I
yeah.
think so. It's blowing my mind because I still, as I said, don't have like I can't love them yet, but I'm really
Me either.
appreciating the way that it's coming through. And as you pointed out and reminded me too, the primordialness of it, I
Mhm.
think is really um, powerful
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get comfortable with. The more you get comfortable with that, the more that you can get comfortable with your own power.
Absolutely. To me, I feel that snakes have that. It's a divine feminine energy.
Mm,
To me, they just feel so, they feel so feminine. I don't associate much masculine energy with
no,
them at all
no,
for some
I agree.
reason.
I
I
agree.
really feel,
Hmm.
and you think
Hmm.
of like of the deities and stuff that in history or whatever that have the snakes with them. It's always women, that are
Hmm.
carrying the snakes or
Hmm. Hmm.
um yeah, there's something about there's some and when I like I said, when I connected with the reason that, or the energy of the snake that I encountered recently, I had been connecting with my paternal grandmother, which I haven't done.
Wow.
And do you know what her name is? She's Bev. She's Beverly. Yes, that's who I'm named. My middle name is I'm named
I
after.
love
And
that. I love
she had
that.
come through a medium, and she's never like because she died before I was born. So
Mm,
that's why I got her name as my middle name. But
hmm.
yeah, my dad's mum. But she had never. I'd always felt her somewhat and knew she was around because like I carry her name, but um I'd never spoken to her like or she'd never come to me in dreams or in,
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
communicate with me. But she did in a particular when I was speaking with a like a psychic medium, not having a reading or anything, but doing some more, sort of personal energy work, and it just came up, and that was I think it was that day or the next day that I had the snake encounter, and
Wow.
I knew it was
Hmm.
to do with her, connected to
Hmm.
her, even though she scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
But it was a connection to that energy, the grandmother energy, the
Yes.
wise woman energy that,
Yes.
mm,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
yeah,
So funny because it's reminding me because it's just my ear just picked it up. But I've always had this self-consciousness about this sound that comes out when I speak, particularly with like an S or a Z, Z sound. Um, and particularly with recording stuff, it's always so like, can you,
pronounced.
I don't know if you can hear it or it's just, they've just brought my ear to it, but it's always so pronounced. And it is something that people do comment on, but
I've
it
never
is so,
noticed.
well,
I will now.
it's so funny because, um, I don't always notice it, but sometimes I feel it. And when I'm feeling it, I have now learnt that it is the connection to that frequency. It's the connection to that aspect of me that's, I don't know what she is. I just know that she's very much connected to the serpent and the snake. And I've been seeing her with almost like snake, not necessarily, I don't know if they're real snakes, but there's like that energy of the snake coming from the hands and um, almost like the hood of the snake sort of up behind me here.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now I've really had this appreciate. This is only in the last couple of weeks because this realization came to me. But I had this appreciation for. I feel like it's when she's speaking through me because it doesn't happen all of the time.
That's when your S's and that sound different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and C's and different like anything that's kind of got that
There's the
sound to
hissiness
it.
to it, yeah.
Yeah, because I noticed just then when I was speaking, I couldn't hear it, but they drew my attention to it in the whatever I said before that, and it was more prominent, and so it comes and goes, and so now I've like instead of beating myself up about it, I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. I should be paying attention to what I'm
Oh, yeah.
thinking, feeling, maybe doing when
Yeah.
that does
When
shift and
that
change.
aspect of you is speaking through you. Yeah.
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 Um,
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
it's such an interesting sometimes this stuff blows my mind, because it just I don't know. Is it real? Is it not real? I don't know, but it's magical, so let's roll with
It's
it.
real. Yeah. It's real and it's magical.
Mm. Well,
Yeah.
don't you think it's interesting? I mean, hey, I'm not religious. I don't really even know the full
No,
story, but
neither.
don't you
Yeah.
think it's interesting about the, if I understand the concept, that the snake presented Eve with the apple?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So didn't present it to Adam, did she?
No,
Did
to the
they or
woman.
whoever?
Yeah,
I
and
don't
then
know
she
because I
was
don't know
like,
the story
yeah, but then
completely.
she was punished with childbirth. The pain of childbirth was her punishment for
So
eating the apple.
I feel like whether that story is even real or not,
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter because but it's it's set that program,
mhm,
didn't it? It's
yeah,
instantly. It
yeah.
set that program on so many different levels, like you
So
said
many
about
levels
the
like you can
like the
name
pain of
right now.
childbirth, or
Yeah, just
just
divine feminine. Attack the fucking divine
yeah,
feminine.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
childbirth is fearful, fearing your own power, not wanting to shed and move through cycle, like your cycles, even the word cycle
Mm,
and the attachment, like the, the connection we
mm-hmm.
have to our cycles and just everything.
Yeah,
It's
massive.
I've never really acknowledged how big of an energy this snake is. No wonder I used to fucking fear it. Like,
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, look, Lauren, I remember the first time, and I can't remember, it was only a couple of years ago. And I think it was during Sacred Initiation Journey with Anna and JJ. But I remember when we were going into this place of connecting with that, that I was literally looking around the corner, like I didn't even want to see her. Like me as my power, I didn't want to see her. And I remember I used to have this clear vision of like peeking around the corner of the cave, like I don't even want to go there. Like I was
yeah,
hiding from it
yeah,
big time. And like that would be probably embedded in a lot of, or if not all of the women at some point or in
yeah,
another. So it took me a really long time to even just want to see it, like see her,
yeah.
let alone be where I am now, which is getting comfortable with embracing it, like with this
Yeah.
idea of like I'm the snake,
Mhm.
kind of energy. Like it's yeah.
I still find it so bizarre that your first light language was that.
Mm.
Because that's fucking full on. Like that's
It was
there's a
very
meaning in that for you. Yeah. That there's something in that for you, Ali, because that's like I said, that for me came along much later in my journey and it I shit myself. I was like, what am I channeling here? Like am I tapping into
Yeah,
something dark
yeah.
here? What is this? It frightened me a bit.
Well, that's how I ended up coming across JJ because I didn't like this felt really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It felt like
uncomfortable.
I was
Yeah.
spitting. It felt like I was
Yeah.
spitting it
Mm.
out. And like even now I'm getting tingly because I remember I was too afraid to say it in front of anyone.
Yeah, I would be too.
And then I was kind of asking for help because I knew light language was my path. And that's how I stumbled across her. I say stumbled, like was brought her
Yeah.
YouTube to me. And it was in the matter of, I feel like that was the end of the year. And then in like January, she was doing, or it might have been December, she was doing like a goddess session. And I remember like I'm just signed up for it. And that I think that was my first session with her. And Wajet came through.
Yep.
And I remember she gave me an image with it as well. And it because it was she was bringing up like the even then the Wajet energy was bringing up the cobra kind of hood,
Hmm.
and I was too scared, like I was not in, that was me. Snakes
Yeah.
were like no.
Yeah.
But it was really, it was a bit of a turning point because it was almost just knowing that, accepting that to some degree allowed me to progress a little bit away from that. But do you know what primarily I do remember is that it was like it was opening up my channel. It was because I remember that I would just like an hour or two, I'd be just channeling. Like I get so sore in my throat. But it was like clearing and opening up my channel and
Yeah.
activating.
Like
They're
that
saying
Kundalini
activating
energy
now.
moving through
Yeah.
you and opening up
Yeah.
your channel. Yeah, for sure.
So it was really, and it's funny because I sometimes forget that's how it start, like how
Well,
I
that's
started.
you're rooted in that. You're rooted
Yeah.
in that. That's where your roots lie for your with your light language and that. Yeah. Yeah, that's massive. Mm.
So that's too why I think sometimes when I think of that and the major transformational time that was for me, signaling a real shift into something. And I had just gone through the reclamation of my name from, I released my married name and went back to my maiden name in that year. And that was a whole journey in itself, um, which you would think. like, I don't know, if maybe like me, you were like, oh, that's just changing your name. But no, it was a
No,
whole
it's
initiation
a yeah, it's an
process.
initiation, it's a completion, it's a yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
much beyond what I didn't even know at that point. I was so new. I was so new in my spiritual awakening, really. Um, but yeah, it's kind of been with me during those transformational periods. And I
yeah,
don't think I really understood that until like this last month, really.
mm,
Um,
yeah. Wow.
yeah, it's such a powerful time though for us all to use this frequency, to use this medicine, the astrological, is it astrological or is it I can't say it, numerology.
Yeah, I think
Numerological.
it's a astrological.
I don't know, but the 9 year as well, isn't
Yes,
it?
yeah, yeah, and of course, like it all ties in, doesn't it? Yeah,
However, I think, like we were touching on before, and this is something I bang on about all the time, yeah, because it's come forward this year, which is the divine feminine, isn't it? It's the cycles. So it's knowing, like, well, just because this is a 9 year and we're moving into a one doesn't mean we stop
yeah.
shedding, completing, and that's the cycle,
No,
the death and
yeah,
rebirth cycle.
yeah,
But like, I think that was great the way you highlighted before, the way the snake moves, the way the snake goes about life, it is such a reflection to us of how, particularly in divine feminine,
mm,
um, to lead with the empowered feminine through the eyes of the snake.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They are great teachers. I've never acknowledged it to this point. We could talk about the snake energy for hours.
Yeah,
There's so much to it.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us in this space of truth, reflection, and connection. If today's conversation stirred something within you, we invite you to sit with it, journal on it, or share it with someone who walks the path of self-awareness too.
These conversations are living transmissions, and we are so grateful to be on this journey with you. Until next time, remember your human experience is sacred and you are never walking alone.
With love, Lauren
And Ali.